Hey, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you how to get better at Spider-Man. I know Spider-Man's a very difficult character to learn at first, but there are a few things that you can change very quickly to make yourself more comfortable, more confident, and just be more effective as a Spider-Man in Marvel Rivals. So there's a few things we're going to go over. Basically just three. First, we're just going to talk about your role in the team and like what you're expected to be doing and what you'd be the most effective doing as Spider-Man. Next, we'll just talk about, or on second, we'll just talk about like strategy. Um, like who to target, what to do in certain situations, how to think in certain situations, stuff like that. And then the last part, we'll just go over some pretty effective combos that are what you want to be using pretty regularly. So let's talk about number one. So your role. So you're obviously a DPS player. Um, you are a diver. So for those who don't know what dive is, it's when you're a player that gets into the back line and just causes havoc among the healers and like anybody else in the back line, such as like maybe like a Moon Knight or a Hela. But yeah, so that's basically what your role is. It's just the main thing you want to be doing is just harassing the back line. There's really no reason to be like behind your team and just shooting webs like this. Like, it doesn't make sense. So, for instance, if you're over here behind your team, you're shooting a web, oh, you got one, you go for the combo, they see you coming, everyone's going to turn around and start shooting you. So, the best way to play this role is to just, you want to get to the back line without being seen. If you're not seen, you're going to be super effective. It's going to be so much easier to get kills. So you come in behind like this, you just have to find certain routes. There's routes on every map where you can get behind the enemy without them seeing you. And then you kind of just hit them with the quickest combo you can. And you don't always have to eliminate them. That's just, I know you see on TikTok like people get in the back line, they eliminate the supports right away. There are combos to one-shot supports, but you gotta understand Spider-Man does not do a ton of damage. He does like he does a lot of damage in for like 3 seconds, but then all his cooldowns are gone and then he has to recharge. So you can't just you're not just gonna be in the back line just destroying supports, like eliminating them every time you're back there. And the reason why you don't have to kill them is because if you're in the back line every like 3 to 4 seconds, they're not healing their team. Like those healers are not healing their team because they have to deal with you. So if you're just back here, you don't even have to be killing anybody, but don't like stand still back here. Just go for a quick combo. Once people start seeing you and start targeting you, that's when you get out. Even if somebody is like low like this, you don't want to trade your life for their life just because your team. It's more valuable for you to stay alive than to be dead. So that's basically your role is to just harass the back line, make the healers not heal. And yeah, so it's pretty simple when you think about it. I think people like think you have to kill somebody every time you dive them. No, you just have to just harass them in the back line, and then eventually they won't be healing their team enough, and your team will capitalize off that and push forward. So yeah, so that's the main like role for Spider-Man. Next, we're talking about strategy, and there's certain like things you just need to think about when you're playing Spider-Man. So first being is your ultimate. So your ultimate is great for team wiping, but it does get countered by a lot of different things. So for example, basically most support ults will counter your ult. So say we have a Luna Snow here and an Invisible Woman here. You do your ultimate, Invisible Woman ults, your ult is useless. So one thing you just kind of have to be thinking of is like, oh, did Luna use her ult? Did Invisible Woman use their ult? When did they use their ult? If it's recent, I'm gonna ult. Because your ult has so much potential for team wiping. And it's a shame that it would be cancelled out by a support ult. So you have to be just cognizant of things like that. For example, if you want to use like another thing, the Venom team up. You know, this is obviously really effective for one-shotting supports. But there's like some people, such as Loki. He has his little domain that will just heal him while you're doing that. So you have to be cognizant of, oh, did he use his domain already? If he did, then I'll still dive him, but maybe I won't use my Venom team up since it is on a 30-second cooldown. So maybe I'll dive him, force him to use that, get back out, then one-shot him with my Venom team up. So you kind of just have to be thinking, like, strategize with, and just know the other team's abilities and when they've used them, and know your abilities as well, and when your things are on cooldown. Because the worst thing is when you're back here, you get a quick combo, and everyone starts targeting you, but you have no more web swings, and you can't get out. So you need to be cognizant of your web swings and also your web clusters, because those are basically the most important thing that cause damage, because it increases the amount of damage a person takes from your normal attacks when they have that web cluster on them. But yeah, that is some of the strategy that you have to be thinking about with Spider-Man. Very simple, but you know, you have to be thinking with him just because he doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, so he can't like override those Loki domains. So you have to be smart with him, which makes sense. I mean, he would be way too overpowered if he could have this type of movement ability while being like super strong. So yeah, that's basically strategy that you kind of want to be thinking about. Next, I'll just go over a couple combos. So the most useful combo is this one. It just involves the Venom team up. It destroys 250 health heroes. So definitely use that on like Mantis, Moon Knight, anybody who, Jeff the Shark, anyone who has like really low health. Next, for like 275 heroes, you can do the same thing. You can still one-shot them. So like Luna is a 275 hero, but you just have to add a web cluster, either at the end or in the beginning or in the middle. So you can do something like boom, 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 boom. But you know, it's hard to land these web clusters, so I usually just go one, uppercut, web cluster, and then Venom. So that is something for 275 health heroes. If you don't have Venom team up, this is the best combo. This is the best air combo, at least. So basically what I did was, you can cancel the uppercut with a web swing. So if you do the uppercut and then a web swing and then a web cluster, you'll also get a down slam. So it's uppercut, web swing, web cluster, and then you get a down slam. So that's just what I did there. If you want more like help on combos, I have a bunch of videos on the combos and me going more in depth with them. But yeah, so one last combo. This one's a little trickier, but it's probably the most effective one. It's just web cluster, pull them in, punch, web cluster, uppercut. It does a lot of damage. It's just hard to pull off because your hitbox for this get over here ability is pretty small. So you have to be very accurate with that. And then, you know, it takes a while to do, so there's a high chance that people will be attacking you, but it definitely does the most damage. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the video. Just wanted to go over some quick tips for Spider-Man. So hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one.